announcers. But nobody's going to give money to a company that's been around for 3 weeks. We got to make a name for ourselves.
Of course. That's the same thing with wrestlers and other stuff, man. We have to do the same thing. You have to spend money to make money in the beginning, and that's just how it is.
Yep, and, to have a guy like Danny telling me that another radio show, they bring in wrestling talent. Yeah, they do bring in wrestling talent. They've also been around for 2.5 years. They have the financial backing of Pro Wrestling Syndicate. They bring wrestling talent to the PWS shows, and they get kickbacks from sponsors and the ridiculous amount of money that they pay for vending tables at those shows. So, seriously, don't tell me what another radio show does and compare it to us. We're not there to make money. We're there to help you make money without anybody lining our pockets. So it was just, the whole thing just snowballed out of control, and it was just a way it wasn't what was said to us, it was how it was said to us. I was cornered. I was cornered, and figuratively speaking, I came out swinging. Not technically, but verbally, I came out swinging, and I was not going to be bullied by anybody, especially two people that I thought had my back. And then the weeks leading after that, the continuous Facebook bullying, and I'm not going to do it. So, No,
I mean, that's the most disappointing part is the fact that we were all so close. We were all there for the common goal. Yay, go team! We were all there for the let's make JCW better. Let's take JCW to the next level. And I thought Ricky, Danny, all those guys, we all came together. Like, look, we're going to take this thing to the next level. And when someone who you're best friends with on the front lines with turns on you, it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm scratching my head thinking, why? I just can't. And that's the most disappointing part is the fact that, is that they did what they did, how they handled it, how they said it. When it comes to talking to your friends or people who you think are your friends, there's so many better ways to go about it. And then that's why me and Steve made the decision we made, as well as Steve and Jared, and as well as you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jared said it perfectly last week. He said Ricky O is an asshole, but Ricky Otazu is a good guy.
Oh, without a doubt, Ricky Otazu was always really good to me and Steve. He always treated us well. There was never any problems. He was always really cool. We had awesome conversations together. We had a lot of laughs. A lot of good time. Ricky in the business sense, not so much. But they say the wrestling business is dirty. It's a messed up business, and it's true. Business itself is very dirty. And, when it comes to love and money, no one's your friend. And, excuse us for thinking that, or excuse us for being maybe this is a different case. It's never the case. Love and money, no one's ever your friend. And that's what it came down to. When they were struggling a lot, that's it. They got to go in survival mode, and guess what? We'll screw everybody else. And I think that was a rational decision, and I think it was the wrong decision. But, hey, I'm not them, and that's not my goal in life, is to run an independent wrestling promotion.
Okay. Now, do you have any kind of verbal relationship with Ricky or Danny at this point?
No. I have no verbal contact with either of them.
So, break it down for us, because I know Nick's licking his chops. He wants to know. He's over there licking his chop. What happened? Why did you guys leave?
Okay, so just real quick, also for the fans of JCW listen to this show, or people may have heard rumors or other things, this is the real story. I'm not going to spin it. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to be 100% honest with everything, just so people understand that. What happened was we wrestled for VPW, Victory Pro Wrestling, out in Long Island. And in September, I had gone there for a show. The promoter had asked me, he's like, hey, I need you and your cousin for 2 dates. They gave me 2 dates. They said November 15th and December 6th. They run one show a month. So for them, a couple months in advance really is not a big deal. It's only 2 shows away. So I'm like, okay. I checked my schedule. I said, there's nothing from JCW, no other companies. I said, you got it, no problem. So then I text Danny shortly after, and I said, hey, man, me and Steve are booked the 15th and the 6th for VPW. I'm not sure if JCW running shows those days. However, we're booked. Just letting you know. He goes, okay, cool, no problem. I see him at a show. Had to be November, maybe October. No, yeah, it was October, and it was the one in Kingsburg. So I think it was the week after the Union show. And so we go there, And I tell Danny once again, like, hey, Danny, just letting you know, man, because, like, the 6th is coming up. I'm going to book for that date. Whatever. He's like, okay, cool. Just text me later on in the week so I can have it on paper, like, in my messages. Like, okay, cool, no problem. So I text him again for the 3rd time that, hey, man, just reminding you, we're booked for these dates. And at that time, I had gotten a couple more dates for another company. So I sent them all of them. I said, hey, I'm booked the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th of December. And I said, look, I'm not sure if JC was running shows, but that's what I told them. So then I wake up on Monday, November 24th. I wake up and I have a voicemail from Ricky O. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, well, I wonder what he wanted. Usually every phone call is pretty polite and pretty cool. I'm like, all right, well, maybe something happened. He needs my help, or let's see what I can do. So I have the voicemail and I listen to it, and it opens up very nicely. He's like, hey, guys, it's Ricky O. I'd like a call back today. And he's like, I just got off the phone with my booker, Danny, and he told me you guys have turned down shows for other companies. He's like, I don't know what the deal is right now, but if you think you're too big to work for me or too big to work for this company, then I'm not going to have that. I forget the exact word for word, but then he gets angrier, and he's like, after all I've done for you guys, after all I've invested to you guys, you're going to turn down shows for me. I'm going to take that as an insult and basically tell you, excuse my language, to go fuck yourself. And he said that word for word. I have proof of it. And then he's like, and this is why I hate dealing with little kids like you guys, between the drama with this, that, and you named a few different events, and this, that, and the other thing. I'm done. And, that being said, it was great working with you guys, and have a nice time. So my instant reaction was, well, that was really not what I expected. I was like, well, okay, that's a good wake-up message. And I text Steve. I'm like, hey, Steve. And he's like, what's up? I'm like, I think we just got, fired from JCW. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, Ricky O just cursed me off for whatever. He's like, what the hell happened? So I meet up with Steve, and I show him the voicemail or whatever, and he couldn't believe it. And I'm like, all right. So then I came to the decision, like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to be talked to like I'm crap. I'm not going to be told to go F myself. He told I'm a little kid, and then go back to work for you. To me, that's not how it works. You don't do that.
Right. So
I texted DeMonto a very, very nice professional message, and I actually have the message right here. I'll read that to you.
Okay.
Let me just read that. Let me just pull it up on my phone so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I ended on a very professional note, and I said I didn't want to have any drama in this, and that's also another reason why we don't have contact with them, because I'm trying to avoid any disputes about anything. So that's what I said to DeMonto. I said, hey man, so Ricky just left me a pretty nasty voicemail, basically telling me that we are children. I do not like what he said or how we are being treated, all based on us being booked other places before JTW gave us dates. Sorry, I wouldn't do that to his bookings, so I won't do it to someone else's. We appreciate what you did for us, but we have decided not to work for JCW again. No hard feelings, but our decision is final. Thanks again, but we want to let you know as soon as possible. Also, Ricky said he believes we're getting too big or acting like we are too big for JCW, and that is ridiculous. We still wrestle anywhere and everywhere and still wrestle for 20 people at times. We have no ego, but we have principles. One being not to make someone a lot of money off of us and be treated to and talked to like shit. That being said, we enjoy JCW and love the shows. We wish you guys nothing but continued success. And that's what I sent Danny. And then he asked, you say that to Ricky. And after that message, I have never responded. The kicker, though, however, was Ricky texted Steve, and he said, once Ricky got news that we had quit, he texted Steve, goes, you better control your tongue. He is going to ruin your career. And right away, it's funny, Steve looks over at me, and he's like, hey, Tony. I'm like, what? He's like, why you got to ruin my career? Yeah. And I'm like, sorry, Steve, it had to be done. And, we both started laughing. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what career are you talking about? Like, it's independent wrestling. And the part that really bothered me and him even more was we got cursed off for doing what we're supposed to do. And independent wrestling, for anybody who knows it, understands the fact that you have to go wrestle for other companies. If you want to go anywhere in independent wrestling or beyond, you must wrestle for anywhere and everywhere you can. Bookings. You should be wrestling every weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Friday, anything, double shots, triple shots, whatever you can do, just making sure you wrestle. And so by doing that, you increase your name, you increase your value. And then therefore, when you come out, after that being said, we've been wrestling around a lot lately, me and Steve. We've really been making our way around. And now when we come back to JCW, it's like, okay, now we have a value. So if anything, that's better for your company. Now, oh, wow, these are the same Down Boys that I saw wrestle here, here, and here. I want to go see these guys. Oh, they're wrestling in JCW this weekend. Cool, let's go check out the show. You know? And then so that's like, we're like, okay, well, we got, that's what's supposed to be done. And we couldn't wrap our head around the fact of why did this happen. And he talked about sending WWE scouting reports with Jake the Snake, and none of that stuff is true. And that's where, man, why are you trying to BS us? And I just really couldn't understand what happened, and that's why we left. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm not going to, because we would make them a lot of money when they came to Kenilworth Union, or just any show in general. We would always have fans show up, especially after being there a year. We've doubled up on places we've gone to, Union, whatever, Kingsburg. We've been there a couple times, and we've had a steady fan base. Nothing big. I'm not trying to sound like we're awesome, but we've had a couple fans here and there. But still, let's just say $100 in their pocket. Let's say 5 tickets, 5 people come, $20 a pop. That's $100 in their pocket.
Right.
So we were making them a lot of money, and I'm not going to be treated to and talked to like I'm a kid, or be told I'm a kid and told to go screw myself, or F myself, because I tried to do the right thing for my career. Like, what kind of support is that, and what kind of friend are you to then say that to us?
I agree. It all boils down to sometimes not what you say, how you say it, and the whole, the joke that we had going on was the last time we actually interviewed you, we had Ricky on prior, and he had this whole anti-bullying campaign that he talked about on the air. If you listen to the show from the start, you heard it. And,
yeah, I remember that.
And meanwhile, what he is doing, whether he knows it or not, whether it's on the internet, text messaging, or in the locker room, it's bullying. It's he's throwing his weight and his authority around, trying to dangle the jobs of people around to get what he wants, and that's a definition of bullying.
Yeah, no, you're right. And me and Steve thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that, people like Ricky, I said not Ricky Ataza, Ricky the businessman, the owner of JCW.
Right.
People like him, what they want to do is, it's business. The whole idea is to make money. And kids like me and Steven, we are young, and we're green, and we may not know it all. However, we've become very educated in the last few months due to the training. And that being said, it's like, well, guess what? He's trying to get up, because he's going to be like, okay, well, in his mind, these kids are going to go to WWE. They want to be superstars. So guess what? I'm going to tell them that I have all these tickets and all these ways in for them to get to WWE. And then they're going to think that I'm their way in. So they're going to do whatever I say and whatever I want.
Right.
Like they sell 100 tickets, they're going to sell 100 tickets. Or guess what? I'm not sending the WWE scouting reporting. I'm not going to talk to Bill DeMar on the phone. I'm not going to talk to Jake the Snake and blah, 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 blah. All these things. Why? Because he thinks that we're idiots. He thinks that we're marks. He thinks that we all we care about is the belts. All we care about is this. And that's not true. The professional wrestling is fake. For those who don't know, if you do know, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. But
Nick, are you okay over there? Wrestling's fake, you're right?
Sorry, man. So, but the belts mean nothing. The belts are cool to have. Yeah, it's like, okay, we have them off, but that's not what it's about. At the end of the day, it's about performing and giving a community all you can give. Whether it's 5 kids, 10 people, 20 people, I don't care, 3,000 people, whatever it is. Me and Steve have always wrestled like that. This just past weekend we wrestled in front of 10 fans at one show. That's just how it is. Like we don't go out there and like, oh, there's 10 fans, great, let's go. We'll do good for this. Like absolutely not, because those 10 people paid the money just as much as let's say 200 people would. So they deserve the best show that you can. Just because there's 10 of them there that they deserve a less quality of a show. That's why me and Steve we've always like, hey man, whoever's out there, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna do whatever we can.
No,
because they're paying hard for money.
I agree with you, and we're about a minute left on the show. Look, the power of manipulation, you didn't fall for it. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
We wish the Down Boys luck, and we know you wherever you go, you're gonna have a good following. You guys are a lot of fun. People are gonna love you. So I really wouldn't worry about it much. And, just